So welcome in. This is Google Classroom 102. I am Cindy Acosta. I am a sixth grade teacher. If you have any questions that were not answered at the end of this training or any other questions come up, feel free to reach out to me at cacosta@sbusd.org. And the focus of today is that we're going to explore how to schedule assignments and assign it to specific students, how to reuse posts from other classes into one specific class, and the functions of each different type of classwork. So the different type of classworks are the different type of assignments. You have an assignment, a quiz assignment, question, material, and we'll reuse post. That are the options that are going to appear when you click on create. And we'll use Google Classroom to show you. So when you click create, so under classwork, you're going to have this big button and you're going to click on create. The first one that we're going to focus on, it's an assignment. Welcome in, we're just starting. So the first assignment that you're gonna see, it's assignment. Assignment, it's more if you want to give points to the students, if you're gonna use Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Jamboard, and you want the students to either have their own copy or you want them to work in the same document. You can create the document right on the spot by clicking create, and these are the options that you're going to get, or you can upload one from your own Google Drive. So by clicking add, Google Drive, My Drive, and then just clicking on the document that you're gonna use. So if I'm using this one, for example, I click insert. And now you need to make sure that if you're gonna allow just the students to view the file, or you want them to edit only one file, like you want all of them editing the same file at once, or if you want the students to edit each their own copy. So you make a copy for each student. So I want the students to have each of them have their own copy. So I just allow them to leave it like that, and you have to put a title. So I can put final reading project. And then give them the points. Hi, 10 points. If you want to click a due date, for example, if I wanted for them to know that it's due this Friday, I just click assign. And it will appear. Now I forgot to put it under an assignment, so I can always edit it, or you can just grab it to the assignment that you want to put it, under which topic you would like to be. So that's for assignment. Now, the other type, it's quiz assignment. If you're gonna use quiz assignment, it's directly connected to Google Form. So if you click quiz assignment, it's going to create a Google Form for you. And you need to make sure that it has grade importing. So I like grade importing because it immediately corrects it for the students and it goes to Google Classroom. So you click on grade importing, you click on the Google Form so you can edit it and make it work and put the questions that you want to have, the title, and all of that. Now, if you want more details on Google Form, there is a Tech Cafe about it, so you can look at the recording, but this is how it will work. You would have to edit the Google Form, and since it gives them points, it's connected to Google Classroom. Again, you need to put a title, make sure you give them points. It's gonna change if you edit it on Google Form and you give them, it's 5 points, like the answer key right here, if I change it to 2 points, once the students start answering it, even if you didn't change the points here, it's going to automatically change because it's connected to this Google form. And again, you put it in the topic that you want. So mathematics, and then you would put, I don't know, math exit ticket, for example. There we go. And then assign. So that's the second type of assignment that you're gonna find. The other type of assignment, it's a question. A question, it's you just ask a question to the students. Hold on, before I go into the question, I do wanna show you something real quick. Once you create the Google form, like right here, you're gonna have 2 assigned, right? So once you create the Google form and the students start answering, you need to click on import grades. Import grades. Once you click on import grades, it's gonna start appearing their grades right here. And even if you return it to the students and some other students haven't answered yet, and you click again import grades, it's not gonna change their grades. So you can click import grades and their grades are going to start to appear here. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. So now if you do the assignment of a question.
I'm sorry, I have a question. So when you return the document to the students, and they return it back with you have to press the import grades again to like update, or will it automatically update?
No, you have to click it again. So if other students are still taking it, and I mean, they took it later after you already clicked import grade, you have to click on import grade again.
Thank you.
Yes, excellent question. You have to click on import grade again for it to update. Now, for the question, so the other assignment that we're gonna have is question. You're gonna click on question and it's just asking a question. Short answer, or you can do multiple choice. So for example, if you ask, what are your plans for spring break? Once you ask the question, you can give them more instructions like, oh, answer with 4 sentences. Now, you can put it in the topic that you want. And now you can allow students to reply to each other if you want them to like collaborate between them. If you don't want them to reply to each other, you just don't click on that box. Now, if you want students to edit their answer, like if they later on are like, oh, I know what I remember something else that I'm gonna do, or they grab more information about whatever they're researching that they were supposed to answer, you allow them to edit their answer. And again, if you want to grade it, you can give them points. However, how much points you'd like. So like 5 points. And then again, ask. You click ask. And now we have materials. So for materials, it's more like if you're gonna provide any resources for the students. The students can't, usually they can't edit unless you allow them to, but it's more for providing resources. Like if I want to give them a link to a video, I would just write it. I could either add the link or look for the video on YouTube. Or if you are doing a read aloud and you want the students to follow along, you can just add the PDF to the story. So like if we're reading Number the Stars, I would look for it. Here's the PDF, insert, and now they can just see it. And they can always go back to it. Or if you have an anchor chart that you would like to post, you can post it there. Number the Stars, read aloud. and you would click post. Now, the last thing is reusing a post. I know sometimes by grade, you may, I like reusing post if you have different classes, or if you're collaborating with other teachers, like if you're in the same grade level, but you're sharing resources, you can create your own Google Classroom, or if you have another Google Classroom, but you want to use an assignment from that class into another class, you click on create again and then reuse post. So when you reuse a post, all your classes are going to appear. So if I want to reuse a post that another colleague posted in one of the classes that we share, or if I have two classes and I want to use another resource that I used from another class, I just click to the other class, and I can use the assignment. So for example, if I want to use these notes, I just click on it and then click reuse.
Can
So
you,
yes.
or do you have to take it as it?
Can you repeat that again?
My question was, can you edit that post, or do you
Yes,
have to use it as is?
you can edit that post. And that's an excellent question. Let me show that again real quick, because you need to make sure that you make a copy. I do want to say that create new copies of all attachments. Because, for example, if one of your colleagues made a Google form and you like the Google form that they used, and you have access to their classroom as well, and you want to use that Google form, you want to make sure that you make a copy, because if you're not making a copy, you're going to see the changes that they make. You're going to see the answers of the other kids. So you want to make sure you always create new copies of all attachments.
Okay.
Yes, for example, this math exit ticket, make sure it's a Google form in my case. So make sure that you create new copies of all attachments.
Okay.
Yes. Excellent question. Thank you for that.
And
Once,
do we
go,
have
go ahead,
time
Alvaro.
to?
Go ahead, Alvaro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if we have a time to see the CAMI assignment on the Google Classroom. I saw that when
Yeah, if so if we have time, we could use it, because I know some teachers don't
yeah.
have the CAMI assignment. So at the end, I can give some time to that as well. Yes. So mathematics, there we go. So now the next thing that we're going to use is we're going to explore is how to schedule it ahead of time. Or, oh, and I'm sorry, Edgardo, did you have a question?
Yeah, actually, yes. I was going to say before we move on. Thank you for your questions and answering the questions. But so when you reuse a, let's say I'm reusing something from Miss Fama's class,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then you said to make new copies or new copies of the attachments.
Yes.
Okay, if I don't do that, I mean, the fact that I'm reusing it, would it automatically, I mean, once I go to my classroom, would I be able to edit or,
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, you could delete it. You could, like, if it's a Google form, I recommend just deleting it and just reposting it again. Yes, you can always edit your assignments by clicking on these three dots. If you
uh-huh,
click on the assignment, three dots, you can edit it or you can delete it.
okay,
Yes,
got it. Okay, thank you.
yes. So how are we doing on time? Okay, we have 7 minutes, but we're doing well. So schedule. If you do an assignment, so for example, here, you create an assignment, let's say another exit ticket. You click and you add the document and do all the steps, put the due date, right? If you want the students to be able to see when it's due, I like it because it keeps appearing on the stream. When you select on the due date, it appears on the stream. Instead of clicking assign, if you want to schedule it ahead of time, like prepare your materials ahead of time so you're not posting all the assignments every day, you just click on the arrow here and click schedule. So if I want this exit ticket to appear next Monday, you just click on oh, I need, must be scheduled before due date. I'm sorry. It's, yes. So I want it to appear tomorrow, for example, I'll just click here. schedule assignment and put the date. So it appears the day that I want it to appear ahead of time. And then just schedule it, and it's right there. It's scheduled for tomorrow. It's not going to appear for the students. The students are not going to be able to access it. They're not even going to be able to see that it's like great. They're not going to be able to see it. Now, I know sometimes we like to differentiate, so we like to give some assignments to other students. So you can also do that. You can schedule specific assignments to certain students. So again, you give the students, for example, if you're another exit ticket because you want to see if the small group that you've been doing with that student worked, you go to all students. Before assigning it, you click to all students. And instead of clicking all students, you click the specific students that you want them to have that assignment. So if I only want Lisette to have the assignment, I click on her name, and like if I'm editing the points, and then assign. That's how you would schedule it. Assign it to a specific student. And like I said, if you schedule, if you put deadline to assignments, like if you click, for example, I always recommend putting it due dates on the assignments. Like if I say, it's due next Friday, say, I like doing that because on the stream, students are able to see what it's due for them. Students are able to see what it's due for them. All right, so, and real quick before we leave, I also wanted to talk about, since we're talking about assignments, the different type of assignments and how to schedule it to students, how can students view their missing assignments? I always like to give this resource to parents and to students as well, because if this is a student view, how can students view their assignments? If they click on classwork, up top, it's different to the teacher view. So it's gonna say view your work. They need to click there. When they click there, the student will find all of their assignments. And what I like is that I know sometimes students may turn in blank assignments. So what I recommend doing, it's just putting us, I tell parents, if a student gets a 0, it's because they're not doing it at all. I like to give them credit for doing it, right? So if they're getting 0, it's because they're not doing it at all. So parents have with their child can see their students Google Classroom. So they can just go to missing. They can see missing assignments, but also if they're just turning in blank assignments, you can see the blank as if you're giving them 0s, parents can see here in returned. If they're using their student account, like if they're with them, the students can see their grades as well, because I know sometimes they are like, Miss Acosta, why did I get this grade? Like, okay, you can see your grade right there, and then sometimes they come during office hours. This is an excellent resource for the students as well to keep track of how they're doing or what assignments they're missing, and they can keep track right there. So that's it for right now. Do you have any questions? Any questions?
No, just Cami, if you can just go. I can use it, but sometimes when I assign Cami, it repeats the same assignment to another student for some reason with the GRA. I was having issues.
Okay.
So
yes.
I think it recorded one document for one of my students and it showed up to another student. So I tried to delete that information to reuse that document. So I was printing, deleting, and printing and deleting.
Okay, yes, I'll talk about Cami right now. Yes. So if any of the other teachers don't have any other questions, because Cami, I'll explain about but if you guys have any other questions, no? Okay. So, all right. Well, have a wonderful day. And if you're moving on to another session, if you don't want to listen to the Cami, if you're going to another session, don't forget to complete the form on the 3rd session, okay? So I'll answer the question about Cami assignment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So the Cami question. Yes, it is this one. So when you create an assignment, Cami assignment, so you add it from the Google Drive. So I know, like, for example, so for example, if I give them a story, let me see, and I want each student to have their copy because I want them to underline. So I click select. You need to make sure that you click make a copy for each student. Make a copy for each student. It's the same. You can have students share one copy. Students cannot edit or file. So you want to make sure that you have make a copy for each student, because if they have one copy, they might be able to edit it, that same one.
Okay. So if I really assigned that document, I can always go back and edit.
And edit it. Sometimes you are, but if the student already, like in your case, Georgette, I think you would only want to assign it to that student. So if that student already edited already, you just assign it to that student and create another one for the rest. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You get my question. Thank you, Ms. Acosta.
Tiene que tener una copia original para poderla asignar a diferentes estudiantes, ¿no?
Ajá.
Una original, y en caso de que alguien la raye, no accesar esa, sino la original, el template, sí, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
See, I always like to have like double copies in case, because I know I sometimes forget to click make a copy for each student. And if I allow the students to edit it, they'll be able to edit it. So I want to make sure I have 2 copies because of that. Yes. I need a blank copy to make a copy of that one. And then it's the same as a regular assignment. You write the name of the assignment. And we're still on 102. I'll go right now on 103.
Muchas gracias, maestra. Hasta
Thank
luego.
you, Ms. Acosta.
Claro. Y ya. And I need to select the class. Sometimes it would ask to select the class. Oh no, it's Google Classroom Exploration. There we go. And again, it gives you the options of all students or certain students. And then you click assign. I like, so Mr. Alvarez, I like to click add links to open with Cami because I know sometimes, yeah, it would give them like automatically a link to click on it and it would open it for them.
Okay.
So I'll just refresh. Let me go real quick. So here it is. Here it is, the assignment that I did with Cami. It creates this button for them. Because
Would you know how it's different? Like sometimes I'll give them a Google Doc, and when they open it, I'll give them a PDF, and when they open it, it gives them the option to open it with Cami. Does that automatically turn it into a Cami assignment?
Yes. Yes, if they open it with Cami, yes.
Okay.
And any PDF, like before, like when we didn't have the Cami, if you don't have the Cami Plus, you could, the students were still able to open PDFs and edit them by clicking. Yeah, so they would click on the assignment and they would click on their own document, and up top it would say open annotate with Cami. They can still do it that way, and it still will appear, and when you grade it and assign and everything. Yeah.
Okay, great.